What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. My name is Owe, and today I'm going to be reviewing Daniel Craig's last movie as Bond James Bond, No Time to Die. Now, No Time to Die is directed by Cary Fukunaga. He's closing out the series for Daniel Craig's 15-year run as the legendary spy, and I gotta say, it's been a solid 15 years and 5-film run with Daniel Craig as the British spy legend. I've loved seeing the evolution of Daniel Craig's James Bond throughout this 5-film series. He's definitely changed from the first film. That's what I love about his character. I do feel like we've been growing with this character, and by the time we get to No Time to Die, I mean, this is the James Bond I've always wanted to see from Daniel Craig, just oozing confidence, keeps his cool. I mean, he's as cool as a goddamn cucumber in this movie. He's killing people left and right. He's going to have a martini while he's, slaughtering 50 villains. It's just what he's going to do. Now, in No Time to Die, James Bond comes back out of retirement to help MI6 solve this mystery of a potential biological weapon being released out into the world, also while dealing with Spectre's involvement with this biological weapon and supervillain Lucifer Safin, played by Rami Malek. So just by saying that, I guess you could say this has its typical, James Bond premise. Here we go. He has to save the world again, but the difference is that we have relationships from past Bond movies carry on to this movie as well. So you do yourself a service if you do watch the previous Daniel Craig Bond movies to have the connection with him in this movie. I mean, there's a lot of characters in this movie. There's a lot of characters from the past Bond movies, as well as a lot of new characters that are introduced, like Lashana Lynch as the new 007, which, a lot of people are making a big deal, like, oh, here we go, we got a woman James Bond, but she just takes the code name 007. Because James Bond retired. It's really not a big deal. I like the banter between her and Bond in this movie. I thought her character was going to be more annoying, trying to always compete with Bond, but I liked her. She was a badass. She was cool. But my favorite new character was Ana de Armas as Agent Paloma. I think that's what her code name was. She was great in this movie. She's not in this movie a lot, but when she showed up, I had a good time with her. She was great to look at. She whooped ass. I mean, her character, the way she interacted with Bond, I loved it. I would love to see a whole movie with Daniel Craig's James Bond and Ana de Armas, but unfortunately, we're not going to get that. And then, of course, we get Bond reunited with past characters like Felix, played by Jeffrey Wright. You got M. Mallory, played by Ralph Fiennes. Naomi Harris as Moneypenny Q's back in here. We get the whole gang back together, so it was nice to have all these characters back and, spend a lot of time with Bond on his last movie. So that was nice. And Léa Seydoux as Madeline Swan is back as Bond's last love interest from Spectre. She plays a real integral part in this movie, and she also gave one hell of a performance. And the introduction to Christopher Waltz came at the right time in this movie because it was starting to get a little slow in the middle because we had so many great action scenes in the beginning, and there was kind of like a huge lull in the second act. But we get the reunite with Christoph Waltz Blofeld, and the introduction and the build-up to Christoph Waltz is so damn intense. And I did enjoy that we kind of had two villains with Blofeld and Rami Malek's Lucifer Safin, who he was a pretty good villain. He was really creepy. He was a really creepy guy. My only problem is that he had a really strong introduction into this movie, and then we really don't see him until the end climax. I wish he would have had a little bit more of his character sprinkled throughout the middle so we really get a presence of him as the villain. But it was okay. Towards the end, he was a real asshole, and he was a real antagonist of James Bond, so that was good. No Time to Die probably has some of my favorite action out of all the movies in the Daniel Craig era, and especially the climax scene of this movie. I mean, there is an epic fight scene where James Bond is going up a narrow stairwell, and it is a one-track shot, and that action sequence just blew my effing mind. And even though James Bond was keeping his cool, being classic Bond, saying terrible pun jokes during all this too, I still felt a sense of danger for Bond. I mean, he was keeping cool, he was whooping ass, but I still felt like he was in danger. So the action scene still had me completely engaged throughout all of it. And the cinematography was great. I mean, Cary Fukunaga knows how to light his scenes. I mean, there were so many shots in this movie where he's walking down a corridor pointing his gun, and just the lighting, I was just like, wow, this looks amazing. And during the end climax of this movie, there's a revelation that Bond learns that just makes him fight a little harder and a little bit more than we've ever seen him fight before, so I enjoyed that aspect of the movie. We really get to see Bond fight for something more than just, saving the world. I really enjoyed No Time to Die. Now, is it my favorite James Bond movie of the Daniel Craig era? Whew, I don't know. I couldn't stop thinking about the ending, about the finale of this movie. I couldn't stop thinking about it. I'd have to watch it again to make that revelation of, is this the best James Bond movie for Daniel Craig? Because for me, it's still Casino Royale. It's still Casino Royale. But man, would I say that I had a damn good time with No Time to Die, and the finale, the last moments with Daniel Craig as James Bond. I mean, I'm going to remember it for a long time. So I'm going to have to rate No Time to Die. I'm going to give it a 9.2. So I'm happy to say that No Time to Die did deliver. It was a proper send-off to Daniel Craig as James Bond. Daniel Craig, you did a damn good job as the legendary spy. I'm going to have a martini shaken, not stirred, in your honor. And thank you for all the films you've done for us. And I cannot wait to see who takes the mantle next. So that's my review of No Time to Die. Post down in the comment section down below of what you thought of the movie. What would you rate it? And what would you rate Daniel Craig's run as James Bond? I'd give it a 9.0. I'd give it a 9.0. He was a great James Bond. So if you liked the video, make sure you hit that like button. If you want to see me again, hit that subscribe button as well. I will see you all next time. See ya!